Well, all right. Well, my name is Chip Mitchell, and welcome to Philly 180. And I've got my good friend Franco. This guy right here. I thought I had energy. I thought I had great enthusiasm and vision, but I can't touch this man. If I were next to him right now, instead of this virtual interview, I would be on fire because this guy is the man. Franco, welcome, man. I really, really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me and tell me about a little bit about your life so that we can really continue the journey of trying to change communities that we're around. So welcome to Philly 180. Today I did my first 11 miles and an hour and 40 minutes of prayer through the city for the gun violence that's happening here, man. And I got a long way to go. I'm going to need a lot of encouragement to finish this run. But I'm also excited about the many things, Franco, that you've been involved in over the years. And for my listeners, why don't you just kind of introduce yourself? Tell us where you're from, Franco, how you were raised. And I know some of the story. And there was a turning point. And kind of walk us through that.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, thank you for the honor for allowing me to be part of the Philly 180 program.
Come on.
I'm Franco Rosado. I'm a social emotional specialist at UPenn. I work at the Netta Center for Community Partnerships, and we do all kind of social emotional development programs over there. My master's degree is community economic development, and we do sports programs on campus, and we're working now to see if we can get them up there to Camp Hope for Kids this summer. But I'm born and raised rice and beans, Puerto Rican from the boogie down Bronx.
The boogie down.
The boogie down Bronx, and had a very strong family upbringing. So I went to Catholic school, private school, at Sacred Heart Middle School in the Bronx. And my dad came from Puerto Rico and found a career in the supermarket industry. So I had 90 grade point average. My seventh grade teacher saw me drawing, said, hey, you're an artist. Why don't you apply to art and design high school? I was like, art and design high school? Yeah, you need a portfolio. Portfolio, what's that? So this beautiful seventh grade teacher helped me design a portfolio for the high school of art and design. And I got accepted because I had 90s. And I had my portfolio with charcoal, oil, pencil, drawings and markers. And I had this
I never knew that.
I had this portfolio. So that's when I started really understanding the importance of coaching and mentoring and trusting. There's a white lady in Catholic school, with a Puerto Rican kid trying to help him stay off the streets because they didn't catch me yet.
Wow.
And then my dad developed a drinking problem.
Oh, man.
So then I had two dads. One I loved, one I hated. That created a emotional confusion and a lot of trauma because it took away my holidays, Chip.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have a normal Thanksgiving because there was domestic violence now.
Yeah.
To have a Christmas, you all drunk, falling on a tree, breaking the gifts. Have family time, smacking my sister in the face with the beer can. It exploded, cut her face. My sister's blood all over the walls on my shirts. My mother throwing his clothes out the window. And I was a kid with 90s in Catholic school, going to the high school of art and design. I just got accepted, but inside me, I'm dying because I'm taking my sister to the hospital. I want my dad to be sober. My mom was crying, my sister's crying, and he's laughing.
Oh, Franco.
And in that drunken stupor, if you ever had an alcoholic in your family, you know what I'm talking about. That
absolutely.
That spiteful laugh that, it's almost evil in a sense. you know you're wrong and you're laughing. And it was like, what's so funny? I'm losing my family. And I remember just feeling like, you gonna screw me? I'm gonna screw you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring shame to the name,
Oh,
Rosa.
wow.
And clicked and shut off. And I got to art and design high school and I failed every class. I got left back 5 times, Chip,
Wow, Franco.
because I couldn't afford the art supplies. A piece of bristle paper, which is like silk, was like $10. But I had to steal it. So I had to get the cats from Brooklyn and Harlem. Yo, we gotta go to the graphic store. I gotta steal this paper. We on food stamps.
Oh,
So Catholic school to public school, good community, good neighborhood.
yeah.
To a poor neighborhood, the first Hispanics in there, people chasing me home, people calling me names, yo Rico, yo Chico, yo Pico, yo Franco.
Yeah.
So there was a gym called the Woody Crest Center for Human Development. And it was a masjid, and they opened it up to the community. And it had basketball, and it had pool, and it had archery. So we were skateboarding, graffitiing, dropping out of school, experimenting with drugs and girls and cutting, go to Coney Island.
Yeah.
And then Brother Ron and Brother Ade and Brother Rahim, assalamu alaikum, said, you Christian? I said, yeah, I believe in Christ, but are you Christian? I'm a Muslim. But don't say you're a Christian if you're not living like one.
Oh, okay.
So he challenged my faith.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of saying, I want to be better.
Come on, Franco.
So then that coach, Brother Ron, taught me how to play ball relating it to life. So I was glued to him as the father I didn't have.
Well, that's that mentor you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
That coach in your life, somebody to kind of grab you at that point where you're at that cliff, right? About to jump, and they just pull you back and say, hey, there's another road, right?
Come here, young boy. Come here, young boy.
Mm-hmm.
He said, why are you acting black? You ain't black. Ain't you Puerto Rican?
Oh, okay.
He said, you African.
Okay.
Do research. What does it mean to be Puerto Rican? Man, he got me tight. Puerto Rican is Taino Indian. No one taught me that. Taino Indian are spiritual people.
Yes.
Right? When the colonists came, served them.
Yes.
They welcomed them, humble, praying for the food. When they did a killing in the forest, they prayed for the killing. Spiritual people, Taino Indian, slaughtered just like any other people.
Wow.
In the slave trade. But I didn't know we were part of the slave trade, Tip.
Yeah.
And then I'm Spaniard. That's where
you're getting guided. You're not only getting guided, you're getting educated. That's what these coaches, that's what mentors do, right?
Yeah. Taino, Spaniard, African. So I took hold of that. I ain't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
I gotta take a Spanish class. I gotta think about what's my salsa music and merengue and what's my food and rice and beans. And I was like, let me be me.
Okay.
Then he put me in a program called Upward Bound Double Discovery at Columbia University. Now I got a backpack on. Remember, I'm 18, left back 5 times. No one said, are you okay? And no one said, I will go with you until I met Coach Ron and said, I'm going to come with you. I said, okay, all I need is one to come with me, to believe in me more than me, so that when I doubt, I'm not out.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Franco. So obviously, you were at the verge of jumping off that cliff.
Cops coming to my house.
And this person got in your life. You allowed him in your life to begin guiding you. How has that now manifested itself? Now, here we are, fast forward 40 years later. What has that meant for you and what you're doing, the work you're doing today?
Well, you got to pay it forward. That's where the fulfillment is. They say money can't buy money cannot buy happiness, but poverty
Right.
will make you miserable.
Right.
So then the joy between happiness and joy. Happy is when you receive something like a birthday gift. Joy comes from that inner consciousness. You're doing the right thing. You don't need a gift to be joyful. So then when I started studying the Bible, because I went to Columbia University for Upward Bound, and I got to SUNY New Paltz in New York, played point guard, and won academic All-American. And then I got accepted to UCLA as a junior, and I studied film and graphic design. And then I got my master's degree in community economic development. Giving back to the community has never been a mystery to me. I just had to figure out, how do I give back to the cats that I loved on my block that were on the corner all day? So I'll go to school in the morning, get my GED. I told the super, can I get a table? I put my GED books, in my building and tell my boys, stop killing each other, stop hurting each other. The whole building is full of crack. We killing, dying, AIDS is just coming out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was putting a table and said, yo, let me teach you what I'm learning.
Come on. Wow.
I'll do a GED class. I failed everything. My mom is gone. My dad don't know where I'm at. My sister had to get a gang member to protect us. He went to jail for 20 years. I don't want that. I go to school in the morning, you on the corner. I come home and you on the same corner. I'm like, yo, cross the street, do something.
Yeah, yeah.
And they started getting killed. They started getting arrested. And I can't stop. I'm on my way to school. I got to go to campus. I told my professor, I don't want to go home because there's no home to come home to.
There's nothing to go home to.
My professor let me stay on campus. My roommate let me stay with them for Thanksgiving because every time I went home, I would lose somebody. You heard about Big E? You heard about?
Yeah. You know, Franco, that story is, it's terrible, right? And but it's not unique, and we see that here in Philly, right? So tell me how that has energized you with Camp Miracles, a program that is happening here in Philadelphia with Hope for Kids. How's that your life and your story energized you with these kids here in Philadelphia?
What did Upward Bound Double Discovery do for me? It gave me relocation. So if I'm on that corner, I'm selling too. I'm dying too. I'm shooting too. I'm stabbing too. I'm robbing too. I got to get off this corner. This is my block. I love it, but I got to go to a cleaner place to get cleaned up because you can't smell the dirt when you dirty.
Oh, wow. So Franco, let me ask you this. What is it? How do we, as an older generation, how do we capture the heart of these kids that are on this corner, that are in this environment where it is, like you said, dirty, and it's thought and it's heart, it's darkened? How do we, as that older generation, how do we reach the heart of these individuals so we can get them outside for a bit? How do we do that? How have you found success?
Well, that program took me to Cornell University, a college trip. Now I'm walking around campus. Now I'm believing that, hey, my brain works just like your brain. But I had to deal with my social emotional damage. So I had to do an emotional journal. What triggered me to quit so much? It was the anger and the hate. So I had to forgive. So then I learned through following Christ that the forgiveness in my case wasn't a one-time forgiveness. You hurt me, I forgive you. I had to forgive you, Chip, every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, every Mother's Day. Where were you? Every Father's Day, why are you drinking? Every birthday, what birthday? Take my life, I have nothing to live for. have to forgive every day. And sometimes people just don't have the strength and the fortitude to keep forgiving. So they call me Coach R at UPenn. And they always ask me, what is Coach R mean? I said, Coach R means refreshment, recovery, restoration, restart, recharge, relocation from the hood to the good, get to camp and walk on God's land and have a meditation about who you want to be and become that. Renew, reinstate, restore, resurrect, resilience, rescue, reassure, remind, remarkable, results. I'm Coach R.
I love Coach R. I love Coach R.
Relationships.
My Coach R.
Rice and beans. Coach R.
Rice and beans.
You're going to call me something? Call me remarkable. I'm a son of God.
That's it. That's it.
So we got to do things like, Philly 180. We have to assess the problem. What's the problem? We got to get a think tank of skilled professionals and social emotional, ability. Because what's the trigger? Because you're gonna have to. A week of camp ain't gonna do it. What's the solution? So I call it dreams in action. It's like seeds, like planting a seed, right? Social, emotional, educational development success is a program I developed. So I got UPenn. I'm planting those seeds of faith, planting those seeds of hope. I got each one teach one. From the Rucker Park fame, Bob McCullough Jr., we just created the first Philly program yesterday. We got each one teach one. We're gonna take a week of the camp to play ball, have coaches, have clinics. I'm the new Brother Ron.
I love it.
Bring them.
Yes, yes.
I'm gonna bring Brother Ron and Coach R to teach the kids that we from the streets now expand that education to financial literacy, to emotional intelligence, to understand how to have conversation and self-expression. And I've been with Camp Miracles for 10 years with Saturday Academy. And every week we did Saturday Academy, I tell the kids, grit, don't quit. And then you see them on the court getting frustrated because they missed a shot. I said, yo, what we say? Grit, don't quit. Thank you. Take it out.
I love it. And Franco, I think when I look at so many of the young individuals here in our city, they're all alone. They're left to be taken hostage by the world, and they don't even know it. And then when they do realize that they're caught up in this life where they just don't care anymore, they don't see a solution for getting out. And I think programs like Each One Teach One, I think things like what you're doing over at UPenn with social and emotional care, in our community, it was, you feeling something, you get it beat out of you. That was the only way, but not understanding the value of being able to talk. And when you talk about forgiveness, boy, that's a big one right there, Franco. I mean, that resonates. You think about the violence that's plaguing our community. They say that most of this violence is coming from social media, where someone said something, did something, disrespected somebody. Back in the day, if you went to a party, you had your white sneakers, or somebody stepped on your shoes, that was a fight, right? And that fight escalated. Maybe it turned into a knife fight. Maybe it turned into a gunfight. And that was just because somebody physically touched you. Now, it's about if you say something, you put out a tweet, you put out some Instagram image or disrespect me, I'm coming after you. I remember some years ago, I was down at the middle school picking up my child. And all of a sudden, there was about 30 high school kids marching down from the high school to the middle school. And there was this one high school kid that was leading them all. And you could see he was amped up. He was amped up. And I'm like, whoa, and I'm in the line, in the car, and I'm thinking, what in the world is going on here? Is this a zombie apocalypse or something? And what had happened was some 6th, 7th grader put something out on social media that offended this guy from high school. And so he was like, cool. After he had, I mean, it was a ton. He had a parade of folks marching down to go to the middle school to deal with a middle school kid. And I remember sitting there going, the police are all over the school, and he's still marching in. And that's that mindset, that resentment, that anger that you're talking about, that all of it has its root in some place and somewhere, but not knowing how to deal with that, Franco. And that's why I sit there, man. I so appreciate the work that you're doing over at UPenn. I so appreciate you getting the turnaround and getting the education to give back to our community. And that's why I know when these kids get up to camp, forever how long they may come up there, man, you know, some of the best people are mentoring, are talking to them. And when you talk about getting out of the environment and in God's land, 88 acres, it's just so freeing for some of these kids. And that's why I'm trying to raise the money I'm trying to raise. I'm trying to raise the money so I can bring another 300 kids on up, Franco.
Let me close with this.
Yeah.
I would love to help design a Camp 180 for you.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
I heard it. Hey, everybody, you heard it first. You heard it first.
You know, 150 kids, 150 mentors. That's over, 300 people, the 180, get the 180, right? And we do it as a Ready for Life camp,
I love it.
And when I had a Ready for Life theater program in the Bronx, and we did the East Side Story, Chip, which was our West Side Story, because one of our teenagers got killed.
Oh.
Now check this one out, and I'll close with this. The kid was going to see his girlfriend. Now gangs are territorial, so he wasn't from that block. So they stepped up to him and was like, "What you looking at?" Now, I don't even know how to answer that question unless I got a cane and some dark glasses. I'm like, I can't see that. How do you answer that? What are you looking at? Who are you talking to? And they shot him 3 times in the face. So I asked his dad to come to the play for gang prevention and come on stage with me with a picture of his son.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 3 o'clock after school, brother.
Mm.
So it's not like, midnight murder.
Yeah.
These, when you're young and dumb, so you lose 2 lives. You lose the life you took, and then the person that took the life.
Family. Yeah.
Just takes your own life, because now you got to go to jail for the rest of your life. So there's 2 families mourning.
Exactly.
And at the funeral, Chip, the gang members were coming like, "Yo, we got you." I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. You got what?" Since we're at the funeral home, how about I take your measurements so you could be the next casket, young boy? Yeah. I just lost him. I don't want to lose you. Turn around and look at the tears of that in this funeral, and you're talking about you're gonna get revenge. And that's very important, where you gotta be able to say, I'm gonna let go and let God. But in the streets, that's kind of hard to do unless you do it with somebody else. You're not gonna get up and be like, I'm gonna let go of this. So the camp can be that relocation that the college program did for me. They can learn environmental studies. They can learn social emotional development. We can play tournaments, brother, with each one teach one, take them to New York, to Rucker Park. But sports saved my life. I'm clean 35 years. I tell Mel Wells from ODAT, I'm Franco Rosado. You ODAT, I'm OPAT. You one day at a time, I'm one Puerto Rican at a time. And here's why.
I love it.
The Hispanic community, brother, and you know this, I was the only climate manager in the city of Philadelphia with a master's degree out of 65 climate managers, which is the same level as assistant principal. I was the only one Hispanic out of 65. So I would go to the trainings at the Philadelphia School District, and we are the Hispanic leaders. Mm-hmm. There's no pipeline. On that side of 5th Street, we hurting too. We got the same funerals, the same shootings, the same drugs. Yeah. And then I feel as a Hispanic that we're the invisible nation.
Yeah, bro.
I feel invisible, where my master's degree don't matter. I still get harassed. at CVS. I gotta get instead of a gold chain like the rappers, I'm gonna get a chain with my diploma and walk around CVS.
With the masters on, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
don't harass me 5 times.
Okay.
I'm not here to rob nobody.
Yeah, yeah.
So the mindset to be strong, to forgive is strength, to be humble is strength, to be caring is strength, to be kind is strength. And the community doesn't have that spiritual strength. So we got to have that spiritual element, you know, and help them understand how strong Christ was. He ain't no punk.
Yeah.
And I told my son, who's learning about it, he's 14. And there's nothing that would mean more than me than my son be successful in life. He got straight A's. He's been on the honor roll for 8 years, but I knew it wasn't enough. I took him to Saturday Academy so that he can give back and not feel entitled that life is just easy and I don't have to help nobody.
Yeah.
I took him to my block. This is where I grew up. See this? Look at this. Here you go. Look at this. Each one teach one. And I told my son, the greatest statement of Christ was in the midst of all his suffering, with the thorns nailed to his skull and his lungs bleeding out and his heart full of fluid and, and the nails.
Yes.
He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Brothers and sisters on those corners, we love you. We forgive you.
Yes.
For you not know what you do. Please, brothers and sisters, get off them streets. You are intelligent. You are bright. You are beautiful.
Yes.
Do not rest in peace.
Come on.
Live in peace.
Come on.
Thank you for having me, Chip.
Hey, Franco, I just tell you, man, every time I talk to you, I'm inspired. I love your story. I love your faith. I love your convictions. You're a man of God with a vision and a passion, and you practice what you believe, and you practice what you teach, and lives are being changed because of it, Franco. We got to keep the fight going. But listen, we're going to get that Camp 180. We're going to get the Philly Camp 180. We're going to get them up there, whether it's basketball, whether it's swimming, whether it's polo. I don't know, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Hey,
well, Franco, I love you, man. Thanks so much for being on my show here. And prayerfully, we're going to reach some folks.
Yeah.
Love you.